I haven't even started the 24-hour challenge yet. And I'm already going a little bit crazy. You can see that this is messy. I usually try and clean it up for videos, but I just can't. I just don't have the energy right now. So, we're gonna be starting the 24-hour challenge today. One of the reasons that I want to do it actually is because I've been sick this past week, and because I've been sleeping at all hours of the day because I was sick, my sleeping schedule got really messed up. And so today I ended up going to bed at like 7 AM. I woke up at 4 PM, something like that. Not great, not something you want to be doing, not very healthy. So I want to kickstart my normal sleeping schedule back into place by starting the challenge now, which is nearly 10 PM for me. If I start it now, I finish at 10 PM, then I can go to bed. I don't know how well that's going to work, by the way, but whatever. I don't have any specific rules planned out, at least not yet. I want to start, I want to have it go for 24 hours. I'm not going to push myself too hard. If I can't do it, I'm going to attempt this 24-hour challenge, basically. I'm gonna give myself 3 hours out of those 24. If I want to sleep, I can sleep for a maximum of 3 hours. I can take breaks to eat. I can take breaks to like go to the bathroom, shower, do that kind of stuff. Basically, in this 24-hour period, I'm gonna try to knot as much as I can. That's the idea. It's not that I knot for 24 hours straight, it's that I knot as much as I can. That's what's happening. What is it? What time is it right now? It is 21:41. All right, 21:42. It's 9 PM, 9:42 PM on the 20th of March as of right now. I'm gonna declare the challenge officially open and I'm gonna finish in exactly 24 hours.
Ha ha ha, very funny.
So I did a video recently, probably the one that posted before this one, where I chose all the colors for all these bracelets. And then I cut all the strings on stream. So now it's time to actually pick out a bracelet to start with. I think we're gonna start this one. Beautiful pink one. So this bracelet has a lot of strings, 26 to be exact. So I decided I'm going to do a loop and I'm going to do 2 triangle ends coming off from either side. I don't think I mentioned this before, but all the patterns are linked in the description if you want them. So I am an hour and a half in. I have had some dinner. Sounds really weird at 11 PM, but is the case. And this is currently what the bracelet looks like. The only one I've been working on so far, but I've done quite a lot and looking good so far. Alright, so it's 11:36 and this is how much of the bracelet I have already done, and at this point I'm starting to get bored of it. So I've done enough of it to start seeing the design, and that's sort of my favorite part of making bracelets, the beginning, to start seeing how the colors are all working together and how the design is looking. I've done enough of that to sort of see what it looks like, and I'm now getting bored, so I think it's time to switch it up and start making something else. And out of all of these that are currently laid out on my bed, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I've chosen 3 different sparklies for this, and I'm excited to see what they look like. So for this bracelet, this is the pattern, and I couldn't figure out how to start it. I was gonna do a loop, I was gonna do a triangle end, but there's no real point to it, so I decided I'm just gonna start in a straight line. So I've taped all of my string to my table here, and I'm just gonna start in a straight line, and then attach a crimp end at some point to seal it off. Somehow while I was doing that, I completely forgot that I wanted to attach crimp ends, so I left a ton of string to use as ties. But I'm not going to be having ties, I'm going to do crimp ends. Don't know how that happened, but whatever. I've now done a little knot so it's easier to attach to a pillow. And look at that little cutie. Isn't she cute? I really like this pattern. I think the black gives a really nice dimension to it. Plus it's a very simple and easy pattern, so I'm excited to see how this goes and how quickly I'm able to do it. It is currently 12:18 on Saturday the 21st. So, it is currently 12:38. The bracelet itself is doing quite well. I'm quite happy with how it's turning out. As for me, however, I started getting a terrible migraine that I can't get rid of and the pills aren't helping. So I think I'm gonna have to pause the challenge for now, which sucks because I didn't want to do that. But so far I've done 3 hours out of the 24. I think if I sleep now, that will help my migraine because none of the pills are working and I feel terrible. I'm still not 100% healthy. So I'm gonna sleep and then I'm gonna restart the challenge from there and do the remaining 21 hours from that point, if that makes sense. So instead of going 24 hours from 9:40 to 9:40, I'm gonna go 24 hours in total, disregarding my sleep. So I'm gonna go try and sleep for a little bit now, which is very strange because as I said, my sleep schedule has been so messed up these past couple of days that like yesterday I went to bed at 7 a.m. and I woke up at like 4 p.m, 5 p.m, I don't remember. So it's very strange that I feel the need to sleep at 1 a.m. now, but I've such a bad migraine. I'm just gonna sleep. Good night. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, look at that, 7 a.m. Saturday, 21st of March. My desk is a mess because I'm still doing all of the strings and such. I haven't put them away. I look absolutely horrible because I'm really puffy and I just woke up. My migraine is still there. It's slightly better though. I'm glad that I did sleep for that time that I did, but it's still there. Let's see if bracelets can distract me from that. I declare the challenge back open. I was on the phone to my mum for just over an hour and I managed to get all of this done. I think I started about here, so all of this was done in just an hour and a little bit, maybe an hour and a half. But I'm now running out of white string and I'm still not done. I still want to do a little bit more. So I've started inserting new white strings. As you can see, this one is really, really short. I've cut a new one and I'm going to be sort of weaving it in. And if you want a tutorial on that, I have a fixing mistakes tutorial where I explain how to do that. All right, it is now 9:40 and I finished this bracelet. As I said in the beginning, I want to attach crimp ends to it. So I have my little pack here, which I got from Amazon. And I'm probably going to use the little silver ones because I think silver is going to look good here. I don't have the proper tools, so I'm just going to be using this to actually attach it on, and I'm going to be using some nail polish to keep all the strings in place. I have a tutorial on this if you want to, I'll leave that linked. And there you go, 9:48. The first bracelet is complete and I'm very happy with it. It did come out a little bit wonky on the edges because I didn't use the straight edges technique, but I still like it a lot and I think it's really cute. Super sweet and simple. So now that that one is done, I think I'm going to return to this one because I'm really not in the mood to start a new one since I haven't done all the loops and stuff. I've only just cut the strings and I really don't want to go into doing more loops because that takes a long time and I'm just So I'm going to continue doing this one for now. 10:37 on the clock and I messed up the bracelet. I know you probably can't tell just by looking at it, but I did do an extra row of white here and on this side as well, which is annoying me because that messes up the entire pattern. So now I need to untie all of that. And usually when I do a mistake like this, it signals to me that it's time to switch it up. And I got bored of making one pattern and it's time to make another one. So I'm gonna untie what I messed up here and start a new one. I'm now going to start this one, which I did with the baby blue and the baby pink, white and grey. I'm going to be doing triangle ends, so I'll tape it to my table. Alright, it's exactly 11 a.m. and I have started this beauty. So far I love how it looks, I really like the colours together. But as of right now, I need to pause the challenge once again, unfortunately. Basically, I'm going to try and do 24 hours in total and not consecutively because stuff just keeps coming up. So I'm going to pause now and I'm going to go run a quick errand that I need to do and I'll be back once I'm done. I am back, 1:07 p.m. and the challenge is officially continued. I have so far done 7 hours, so let's keep it rolling with this baby. It is currently 3:51 on the clock, and I haven't made much progress. I did do a little bit. I don't remember the last time I filmed, but I did do a little bit. But most of my time was spent editing a video that is now exporting. To be honest, I got bored. I got so bored. A lot of you guys seem to think, and I've realized this during my live stream as well, and based on all the questions that I get, a lot of you guys seem to think that all I do is knot throughout my day, which is not the case, no pun intended. I spend way more time actually planning, filming, or editing videos, or somehow working on my social media or that kind of stuff. And if I'm being completely honest, that's probably what I enjoy more. So when I actually sit down to make bracelets, like a lot in one go as I am doing now, I get bored very easily. I managed to finish this one, but I got very bored of it as I was doing it. I had to push myself a lot to finish it. This one I'm enjoying so far quite a lot, but again, I got bored of it because I made a mistake. I had to untie it and I was just like, well, whatever. This one I'm enjoying. It's cool, but again, I got really bored of it, so I felt like I needed a break. And I mean, I did something productive during that, also bracelet related, so I'm gonna give myself a pass, since the point of the challenge was to knot as much as I can, not all of the time. But now that this is done, I'm gonna take off my nails because these are getting disgusting and I'm gonna continue making these guys. It is 5:36. I completely abandoned the other bracelet and I'm now working on the Starburst. I'm trying to get all the colors arranged for the triangle ends, and this is probably the part that I hate most about making bracelets because I get so confused. And I am so confused. None of the strings are adding up. I feel like I'm missing a string and it doesn't make sense and I can't figure out where it went. And I'm just so annoyed and so I hate this so much. I wish you can just start making bracelets, you know, just plop in at the point where you figured out all the string positioning and you can just start making the bracelet. I need to figure this out though because it's driving me crazy. I've been staring at it for like 5 minutes. Oh my god! It is 6:10 p.m. I got so fed up with that I took a break for dinner because I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and I just realized. I was doing a triangle end, and if you look at the pattern you can see that you've got this dark purple at the top and then at the bottom as well, and I thought that there were 2 separate strings for that and it wasn't adding up, and then I realized that it's the same string. It goes from the top to the bottom, which is extremely obvious because it's literally right there in the pattern, but for some reason it didn't click in my brain. That took way too long to figure out, but at least I figured it out now, so I can finally continue. 8:03 p.m. I've literally been filming this for an hour and a half. I mean, obviously the tutorial itself is going to be much shorter because time lapses and such, but wow. I'm loving how this is turning out though, and I'm really happy with the tutorial so far. It is very sort of advanced focused, and I don't think I've ever done a tutorial like that before. I've only ever really focused on beginners / early intermediate, so it's very refreshing for me to film something more advanced and really not breaking everything down as much as I usually do. I'm galloping really fast with these patterns, trying to explain it really quickly. Interesting, fun experience for me. Alright, I'm gonna put the camera on charge because it is dying, and I might make something else while I'm at it because I can't make this since I'm filming a tutorial. 9:08. In total, that is 15 hours. I'm slowly losing my sanity because I'm very tired since I've been awake since 6 a.m. today, but this is what I managed to get done just now. Very slow progress because I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now, pause the challenge here, restart tomorrow. I've got, what, 9 hours to go? I think I'll get some nice progress done tomorrow as well. For now, I'm going to sleep. Hello. So, it's 5 p.m. on the 22nd of March, and basically I've had to put the challenge on pause because a lot of stuff happened. As some of you know, I am Russian as well as English, and I'm the only one out of my family living currently in the UK. Even my husband right now is living in Russia, and due to all the borders closing and everything, I really wanted to get back to Russia, but my flight was cancelled. However, my mum actually managed to find a flight for tomorrow, and she paid for it, which was amazing because it was very expensive and I wouldn't be able to buy it myself. So she loaned me the money to pay for the flight. And so now I am flying to Moscow tomorrow, hopefully, because Russia is closing the borders, but I'm gonna be like one of the last flights out pretty much if I do make it into the flight. And I'm now super stressed out because I'm essentially moving for God knows how long because I have no idea when the borders are gonna be open again and when I'm gonna be able to fly back. And I'm trying to decide what I should be taking with me, what is happening, I have no idea, and I'm just very It's just not the best time to do a challenge. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. I did the 15 hours for now. Gonna see what happens. I'm gonna pack my bags, get ready to fly, clean up the flat a little bit to make it okay so that when I come back I don't get overwhelmed by cleaning and stuff. Not that I need to do a lot of cleaning, but you know, just hoover a little bit, throw out the trash, I guess. Basic stuff like that. And then I'll resume the challenge when I'll resume the challenge. I'm very, very stressed because I really don't want to fly to Russia for an indefinite amount of time. Like I want to be with my husband and with my family, but at the same time, you know, my life is here. I don't want to be stuck in Russia for months, not knowing when I can come back. I don't know, I'm just very, very stressed. I'll see you guys later. It is now a few days later and I am in Russia and I have this little guy keeping me company. Oh, she's a she. But still. I did pack in a hurry, but I still managed to get all of my bracelets here. The Starburst I actually finished filming while I was in London, right as I was packing. I didn't record that for the challenge, but I did finish like the second half of this for the tutorial. We'll be disregarding that though. And I think I'm gonna go with this one for now because I want to make more progress on that. In any case, I started at 11:30. I've got 9 hours to go, so let's see what I can get done. Hello, my baby. My baby. Just keeping me company. Well, I entirely forgot that I have an online lecture, which I still have to attend, of course, even though I am in Russia. And I didn't get that much done because I was kind of distracted, but I did get a little bit done. I think this much in like an hour. Honestly, should have done more, but as I said, I was a little bit distracted, plus the cat was in my way. But I'm gonna go get ready for my lecture and then resume at some point later today. Well, it's been a couple of days, let's just put it at that. Because I wasn't able to actually continue the challenge yesterday, I ended up editing the video footage that I have up until now. And it's just so hilarious to look back and see me saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get it done in 24 hours. Yeah. That was funny. Anyway, I'm looking at all of the bracelets that I have now, and these are the ones that I was sort of working on most. I've got this one and this pink one here. And then I looked at this one. This was supposed to be the monthly challenge for March. This was supposed to be the rose bracelet. And when I was packing, I took this bracelet and I took all of the strings that I'm gonna need for the rose. But I didn't take any of the background string, which is very smart, which means that I can now not do this because the background string is basically done for anyway here. Very short. So that's great. Amazing planning. I also didn't take any black or white string at all. I only have like a small baggie of colored strings, so whenever I decide to make new bracelets, I'm going to be very, very limited in my choices. Kind of a messy situation in terms of string. Anyway, I really want to get this one done today. I want to get the challenge done today in general, but I specifically want to get this bracelet done as well. Anyway, I've got 8 hours left. I'm hoping to get that done today. 1:42, I declare the challenge officially open. Hopefully I can get this done in one 8-hour stretch. Somebody found my string. It has been an hour and a half, and I finally realized that I can actually set a timer for 8 hours, which is now at 6:30, and I finished this bracelet. Last time you saw it, I think I had done 3, so I finished all of this in just an hour and a half, and I finished it, and I just now need to do the twisted ties on either side. I'm now looking at what I have left, and some of these bracelets haven't even started. I think I'm going to start with this one and try and make a loop for it. 5 hours, 46 minutes left. I have made the start. And as I mentioned previously, this is the part that I hate the most. The amount of times I got the strings wrong, I had to untie and retie, is ridiculous. This takes too long for me, and I hate beginnings. But now that I've finally done with it, and I think I did it correctly, I'm ready to make this bracelet. Alright, so I've been at this for 3 hours, and I just paused the timer because honestly I'm just bored and tired, and I want some food, so I'm gonna go make myself some food. This is how much I managed to get done though, and you can already see the designs sort of coming together, and I like it a lot. I'm very happy that I went with brown here. As I said, I very rarely use brown, so it's nice and refreshing to see. Alright, I'm gonna go get some food and then resume the last 5 hours. Alright, it's currently 5:53. I honestly don't remember when I put this on pause, but I had a nice break and I'm ready to jump back in. So let's go. So I have got 2.5 hours left, and I think I've done quite a lot. I think last time I showed you I was around here, so yeah, quite a decent chunk done, but I'm growing very tired of this pattern. This is very fun to knot, just because this area is very quick to knot, since there's a bunch of straight lines, but I am very tired of this now. I want to do something else, so let's switch it up. I have decided to try this one with the multicolored pink and blue. I'm now faced with the same challenge again of starting the bracelet in a triangle end. As I said, I don't really enjoy starts in general, but this one specifically, the way that I want to start it is by cutting right here before the first sort of bit there, but the pattern cuts out right when it starts, so I need to cut here and I need to keep scrolling up and checking all the colors, which is so annoying, but it is what it is. This one is constantly staring at me and attacking my strings. I also just caught her standing on the table with the friendship bracelet that I just finished in her teeth, and she was using her paws to play with the twisted ties. Thanks very much for that. 2 hours left, and this took so much time. I completely misunderstood where the strings were going. I misread the rows, so I had to untie this, retie this so long, but I think I finally got it right, so I can actually start knotting. Why are you licking my laptop? What are you doing? Thank you very much. And there we go. 10:53 p.m. on Saturday the 28th of March, over a week after I actually started this challenge. There we go, this is how much I managed to finish of this bracelet. As for all the other ones, I'm going to show you tomorrow because it is very dark and I want to go to sleep. Alright, this is definitely a weird setup, but this is the only place where I found decent light, so we're going with it. As you may remember, I made 7 bracelets to start the challenge. I also had an 8th bracelet for the challenge of the month that was already made previously. And out of all of those, I only finished 2, which I actually think is a pretty good result. I never expected to get all of the bracelets finished, and I made a lot of them so I wouldn't get bored throughout the challenge, because I tend to get really bored when I make the same pattern over and over again. But I did manage to finish 2, both of which were quite thin bracelets, the other ones were more thick. Let's start with this one. I like this one a lot. This was the first one that I finished, and I really like the pattern. I like that it gives dimension, and I like how I used the sparkly string in this bracelet as well. The second finished bracelet was this one, which as you can see has a lot of cat hair in it, but that's just my curse now. My father-in-law also brought us 2 extra cats, so now we have 3 cats in the house, so there's going to be extra cat hair in all my future bracelets. I love how the pink looks with the blue, even though you probably can't see very well. They're both sparkly and they look really nice together. Next up we've got this one. I really like the colours, I love the way that it looks. I like that the sparkly one is the dominant one and then the pink gradient going out from it. I used to always do pink bracelets, but nowadays I very rarely do, so this is kind of nice for me. Next up we've got the Starburst. So I only actually did the top half, so up to here. The rest was done sort of off camera when I wasn't filming for the challenge, but I did film a tutorial for this one. A tutorial on this will be coming up, and once it's up it will be linked in the card and in the description, but it's going to take me a while because it's a very big video to edit. I love the colours of this though. I really like the Starburst pattern in general, but something about the purple, just I love it a lot. And then we also have this pattern, which is also kind of a Starburst but a different variation of it. So as you can see, between the actual stars themselves we've got this shape, and I chose brown for this bracelet, and I really like how it looks here as well. And finally, out of the bracelets I actually worked on, we've got this one, which uses a multicolored pink purple and a multicolored blue. I'm really liking how this is turning out so far. I'm excited to see how this is going to look like when it's finished. And of course we have this one, which was supposed to be the challenge of the month, but I forgot the background string in London, which is great. And then we have this one, which was supposed to be a rainbow pattern with multicolored strings that I never got around to making, but I am going to make it at some point. Overall, I would deem this challenge a success. This is definitely more than I would typically make in a 24-hour period, even though it wasn't specifically a 24-hour period, but it's still more than I would have done regardless. As I said, all the patterns are linked in the description so you can make these bracelets for yourself, and if you want to follow the journey of these patterns further, I will be filming vlogs, probably while I'm in Russia, sort of bracelet vlogs, and you can watch these bracelets come to life as well. And there you go, that's it for the 24-hour bracelet challenge. I might attempt one of these again at some point in the future, far into the future though, because this was very difficult to do and organize. It didn't go exactly as I planned, obviously. I wanted to do it in one stretch, but then life happened, so it didn't work out like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. I can definitely say that I did. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, and especially my top supporters, who are Zoe, Simon, Tia, Izzy Innovations, Izzy B, Izzy D, Jocelyn, Misty, Sydney, Lara, Anna, and Gretchen. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And if you also want to become a patron, there is a link in the description where you can sign up and get exclusive perks for your donations. I'm also about to start a Patreon one-only bracelet competition, so if you want to win a bracelet from me, that's probably your best bet since there's only about 30 people at the moment, and I'm pretty sure not all of them are going to enter, just because statistics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I usually post on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but in this quarantine period, I'm trying to post as much as possible, so hopefully you'll see me sooner than that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!